And hello everyone and welcome back to Tales of Arise. Last time we've defeated the... Shion is eating again. We've defeated the water slimy dude and Ifrit, a fire spirit. And we found our spaceship with which... what's his name again? Elfin went to Dana. Or came to Dana. And we had all the scene with Shion about her thorns and all, a little bit emotional and all that. And now we're supposed to get to this thing up there, Lenegus. So let's make our way there. Just take a quick look around, and we don't have any other side quests laying around. Which you want to do right now at least. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at Ringbell. Burning Blood, yes, that's better. Just have a little bit of look around here, see what's best. Looks fine. Take off.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegus and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
Well, she looks fine now. No longer so overgrown by moss. There's Lenegus.
You know,
And Renan.
I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegus?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
Alrighty. Talk to the party.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Shion.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched, helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
We'll seize a future by our own hands. Alrighty. Here we have Rinwell and Law. Alright.
Hey, Alvin, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Are you still worried? No, why would you think that? Thing here. Is it like sleeping capsules or something like that? I don't know. Kisara. Hopefully she doesn't get seasick. Or flying sick.
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that'd mean you were inside
That's
for
why he
300
didn't age,
years?
I guess.
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. But don't even ask me why I stayed asleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Been a long and winding road getting here, but in the end I'm glad we all met.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis is was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danan. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this red woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
Probably.
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That red woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them.
I wonder if we find Shion's plushie. Or doll. I think a doll. Maybe if we find her old home, maybe we'll find her doll then as well. But it sounds like she was sitting in a experimentation lab for all the time. Do we have to fight? That's the question, or not?
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
Probably.
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, Then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time. Possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone.
Alrighty.
Beyond that
Landing
wall
on
lies a
Lenegis.
city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Are you just going to keep standing around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
I wanted
Thinking
to
about what
let
could be
you talk
lurking out
out
here is
everything.
giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renans actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
Anything more? No? Alright. Well, let's go. Don't have much else to go on, right? Anything to loot? No? Alright. I'm surprised we can breathe air here. Is it surrounded by glass? Doesn't look like it is. Alright, let's go in here. I wonder if it's a dungeon or if it's just a new city. They're friendly. Alright. Quite a bit of destruction going on here. What is that? Landing gears.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
Seems to be an
I see.
old memory.
Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
We've a bigger fish to fry.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Doe?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danans poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process.
That's for
It's
energy.
just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
The crown contest
Whatever
was just
their
a
purpose,
ruse.
disrupting
No,
their
no.
siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
An afterthought.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry, that probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Any more skits? No, okay. It's not too big of a place. That's fine. Let's look a bit around. Is it Lenegis done for? The residential quarters falling apart. There's no hoodles around. Let's go to the right first. Something over there. Map patch. Probably healing stuff, right? With everything all topsy-turvy in the residential quarter, there are lots of injuries. Stuff keeps dropping on people and they're also falling down. Please be voice acted.
Oh dear
Thank
me.
you.
What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands.
Oh, that's not good.
Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Interesting. The Sovereign knows best. His will works in mysterious ways. I wonder if he is still there, Lord Warren, when he is Sovereign. I think he is a Sovereign, right? At least he has a Sovereign crest. Can anyone hear me, please? Someone answer me. What's going on? Why can't I reach anyone? It's a chest. Some strawberry. Nice. Take that. Water astronauts, alright. I'm on soldier. Where am I? I just went out for a walk, but now I don't know where I am. I don't know, everything's falling apart and looks completely different. I can't get a hold of Mother and Father either. You have nothing to fear, kids. I'm sure there's a reason for everything that's going on. But even the Zeugles are running loose. That seems dangerous. Zeugles are nothing more than us. They may have gotten out, but I assure you, I'll have them back under control before long. You kids consider yourselves to be proud Renans and be brave. You'll have the situation fixed before you know it. Where's the dang Sovereign when you need him? Can't he see the city's in trouble? Let's not jump to conclusions now. I'm sure there's a reason he hasn't appeared yet. Let's simply give it time. Person, let's heal him. In all my years, never have I seen such potent healing arts. Thank you so much for taking the time to help an old woman like me. Fancy parfait recipe. A lavish parfait filled in the brim with fruit and cream, though extremely satisfying to eat. Eating one risks developing more than a few cavities.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Go here? Oh no, we'll see. Let's talk to this guy.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you.
No one knows Dohalim.
I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time.
I wonder if they put the current crown contest on hold. Zugel suddenly stopped listening to our commands as soon as we turned our backs devoted for the horizon. Nothing like this has ever happened before. We have to put a crown contest on hold. We can't carry it on while things are like this. Can we go past here? No, it's blocked off, eh? Anything to loot here? It's blocked off, okay. Let's talk to this lady.
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome.
Lower caste.
I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
They're basically like slaves.
That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
What is Lord Warren then?
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign, though it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest.
That's
not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma, the same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it!
Red Woman was also in Balsif. I just didn't notice her. She was in the first scene when we got introduced to Balsif and Pelaglia. I looked at a stream or Let's Play where the scene was shown, and there was a Red Woman besides Balsif when he was crushing his, I don't know what it was, table or drinking cup, whatever, I don't know. He was there. I don't know if it was, if he was also there in the second and third area. But he was definitely in Calaglia. That's for sure. Lenegis citizenry. First of all that, I feel truly blessed to have a lord who shows such care and concern for his people.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I guess not everyone is like that.
Even
there might
so,
be a couple of
the quality of life here
resistance
seems
groups.
much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
The art of conversation.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Alright. Anything else around? No, just have to go that way then, I guess. The rubble is out of the way, yes it is. Oh, another cutscene.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Renans and their lord. So main quest is side quest. Side quest, right? No. That one. Okay. Alright, let's head back and talk to them. Hello there, old man. You want to know which lord I support? Why? Are you out canvassing for someone? I'm with His Excellency Evosi Teldalis. You probably know him better as Lord Balsip. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute, believe me. Very as he can be a aggressive man. What those people don't realize is how much he looks after the members of his house. It's fair to say that House Teldalis doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that.
Yes!
But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that we can be sure. His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, but to improve the standing of each and every member of his house.
Yes!
I owe so much to His Excellency, I could never dream of serving any other lord. You want to know, Lord? What? Nah, fuck.
Have had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Hello, little lady. Lord Dualim, you have returned. Ah, and I see you've brought aids with you. Do you remember who I am, my lord? Surely you must, yes? Not only do I support House Akaras, but more specifically his lordship personally. So much so, it's been trying to share my appreciation of his lordship to any who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject through this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. But since the lines appear to be cut due to the recent tumult, I've been unable to upload them. I know, since you're all here, I'll just read them all out. Aha! There exists a most handsome man, a man who radiates beauty, whose every word, every syllable is divine poetry. He hails from the famed house of Karas, and his name Lord Dualim. Music is his passion, the arts his great love. The scores of boorish uncouth men of this land cannot begin to compare to his magnificence. So refined and majestic is his posture, why the mere thought of it brings me to ecstasy. Once he becomes our sovereign, Rena shall bloom anew, ushering in an era of prosperity for our grand civilization. Until that glorious day comes, I shall forever be praying for his victory, morning, noon, and night. Well, what did you think, my lord? I poured my whole heart into it, hoping to capture your essence. Wait, I forgot to mention anything about his lordship's love for collecting things. Must take this time while the lines are down to append it. Only then will my masterpiece be complete.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
My lord, how can you be so aloof? And yet there's something wonderful about that too. Alright, next one over there. Whom do we have here? Hello, mister, what do you have to say? Whom do you support? Well, I never think anyone would try to tear me away from House Valkyris.
What?
What do you want? Don't tell me you work for Lord Darlim or that dreadful Lord Amatria, or do you? You don't? Well, don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House Valkyris for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Ganabel behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Many think him to be a cruel man, but I insist they're utterly mistaken. Though I won't deny he can be strict, he puts Renna's interests front and center like no one else. Why, he advocates that rather than stay confined to Lenegis, we should get on with colonizing Denna and expand our horizons. That way we will become masters of both worlds and overturn our current minority status on Denna's surface. That is why he seeks to become our next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater, more noble ambition than that? I think not. It is a pursuit of power for the advancement of all our kind. It is what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my two sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface. As their father, it fills me with endless pride.
Ganabelt was so horrible to people, yet he was invested in helping Renna succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Renna.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
Are you just going to keep
I'd best return before I get wrapped up in any unsavory business with servants of other
standing
lords.
around or what?
Sorry, I'm just getting prepped over here.
Alright, we don't have anyone here, right? In the takeoff area? No, okay. Let's continue onward then. Gonna move on, Shion. Alrighty, now over here. There's nothing over there, okay. Quite a few areas, eh?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Alright, which lord do you support?
Pardon me.
This area falls under the sole jurisdiction of House Canaris. I must ask you to depart at once. Sure you don't claim to be ignorant of a famed house ruled over by the esteemed Lord Amatria. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis only a few women lords have emerged to compete in a crown contest? Many are theories as to why this might be, but Lord Amatria quashed the doubts about any naysayers through sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and previous family master, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She is a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants, who gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. Truly, Lord Amatria is a woman of talent. No one in all Renna better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's meritocracy. Soon, the age of a glorious woman sovereign reigning over Lenegis shall be upon us at last.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Scout this area until Lord Dementia, okay. It's a shiny. Some sheep meat, alright. What's happening? I don't get it. There wasn't a decree or anything to announce as like there always was. Right, even if this was an accident, it's strange that we still haven't heard anything from the Sovereign yet. Do my ears deceive me, or are you saying that you don't trust what the Sovereign is doing? Well, if you know that I was part of the delegation that came down with him to Dana during the previous crown contest. He was a brilliant man and just as good with astral arts as well. I'm sure he's well aware of the situation and thus has a plan to resolve it. Until then, we must simply wait and trust in his judgment. You saved my life. I would have been gone had you not arrived when you did, milady. Understand to win a crown contest, but I had no idea such a capable astral artist was in our midst. Forgive me for not realizing it sooner. Someone... Come on, you don't need to bow so deeply. All I did was strike Tetsugo's weak point. I didn't even get to go down to Dana for the crown contest, so I'm not sure how to feel about all the praise you're heaping on me. Where's my house? I know how to get home. Here. Sorry, authorized personnel only. The damage beyond here is too severe. You'll have to go around. As a member of the upper caste, I order you to find a route out of here to the neighboring district. Please, no, you can't expect an old man such as me to do that. Not when there are sewers running loose in that part of town. That's exactly why I need you to do this. Surely you don't intend to defy me now, do you? The residential quarter is completely ruined. The roads are a mess and we can't get any power. The info terminals have gone dead too. We can't get in contact with any of our fellow Renans on the ground in Dana. I wonder if the Sovereign's aware of what's going on. Hello there, old man.
Ridiculous.
Live, sir. I was just reading about Warren. Can I help you?
Okay.
As always, an ardent supporter of Lord Overgill Hildress myself, were it not for his sudden death down on the surface. Likely he's still a word. In my eyes, Lord Overgill is a true water lord. I don't believe for a second that he perished in some accident like they say. As for how Warren runs Canaveras, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Danans but even his fellow Renans. We may live in a society where to the victor go the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this House Ignacery of his anyway? I never heard of it until he came along, which means they must be among the lowest wrecks of society. That such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to the lordship is unheard of. None of it makes any sense, not to mention all of the upheaval around here of late. What is happening to our people?
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah, I think it's made me realize that the lords were all people too.
I don't know why they mess up the
Also, for
subtitles in
others,
the latest
They
Tales
all
game
had their
so
own
much.
circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but
So
still,
no quality
just
control
because they
anymore.
had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danon doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
Renans are the Lords. 220 SP. Nice. Like that. How loathsome. Oh. I'll leave you to it. Just what does the Sovereign think he's doing? Who knows? Anything currently going on? She needs still a Mystic Crest and the ultimate ingredient. Let me get that one. As I see it. And that one. Alright. What do we have here? A great gel.
What could this be?
Nice. Father, what's going on? I'm scared. I'm not sure, son. I never know my years here on Lennigus has anything like this ever happened. Not even once. There's always been a decree before anything takes place. Not only was there none this time, but the residential quarter has seen damage and injuries. Could that mean there's something bad happening there? It's possible. For now, all we can do is wait and hope for the best. Alright, let's have a look over there. Oh.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lennigus?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lennigus from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both.
It's all mystery, really.
Though we are Renan by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
I wonder if the Forbidden Zone has all the the previous Rena Almas there. Maybe they need to be collected for a certain time before a new ceremony has to be held.
Doe?
Who's that?
Faria.
Oh, Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait,
Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Seems to be some unspoken words between those two. Lots of emotions. There's the red woman.
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
So we saw in the flashback when he got introduced.
Back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
What do you got teleported to here? Just was over here, right? Yeah. Wanted to go to the left. That's where I wanted to go. There's another person I wanted to talk to. How could any of this happen? For years, Lenegis was a bastion of order and stability. Where did it all go so wrong? One of the Red Woman possesses now, Faria, whatever she's called, and tries to kill the party. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, it's nothing. I feel guilty about fleeing while there are kids out there fighting. There's no need to worry about them. They come from a higher ranking family than ours. That makes their ass a lot stronger than ours. They're simply fulfilling their duty to society as members of the ruling elite. I know, but it still doesn't sit right with me. That. Why is he using fire? Oh, to kill off the Zugals. That doesn't face him, apparently. Bunch of Zugals down there. Alright. Let's go further down. This is crazy. How long is this going to keep on? I don't know. Normally we would have had orders from the top brass informing all the separate classes what they need to do. I doubt that's happening. The whole chain of command in the city seems to be like it's broken down. Nobody knows what's happening. That doesn't mean someone somewhere isn't watching our every move. For now, we should see if there's anyone higher ranking around here. Maybe they'll have an idea about what we should be doing. They rely on orders. There's an inn over there. Tofu, alright. I'm feeling in bad shape. Who knows how many people have died? What happened to the Sugals? Don't tell me they broke out. No, luckily we were able to seal them off before they got too far. Not that it does much good when they've escaped in other districts too. If I had to guess, I'd say there are a lot of Sugals running loose throughout Lenegus. And there are a lot more of them than us too. What are we going to do? All our best soldiers are stationed down in Dana. Why though? Well, I guess I never thought something like that might happen. Alright, are you using magic to clear all this stuff? Next cutscene, okay.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
They all played the violin, okay.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait. Don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Shion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right.
Somebody's watching us. Dwelim's friend.
Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
If the rumors are to be believed, it's not just Zugas who are out of control. Apparently a group of armored soldiers have started to rebel too. For all we know, we may be seeing the start of some kind of uprising. Don't you think so? That's absurd. Who could possibly plot such a conspiracy and think they could get away with it? True, if you rebel against the Sovereign, you're rebelling against the entire Renan civilization. It's hard to say one way or another. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of Lenegus. We just know too little. Okay, so armored soldiers are on the uprising as well. Interesting. If things don't calm down soon, don't you think we should order a starship so we can evacuate? You can't. You need to have the Sovereign's permission to enter a starship for anything other than the Cairo contest. Well, where's the Sovereign? Why isn't he here to lead us in our time of need? Look around here, maybe some loot somewhere. Oh, no loot here, no loot there. Nothing else, alright.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Am I to deceive me, or has my shop been blessed with Lord Dohalim and his servants? Is there anything I can help you with, my lord? I can manage the ranch. Get some rat pig meat. Right. Send some sheep in. We can forge stuff. Oh yeah, we can use the stuff from earlier. We have that. Some flare claw. Got all the other stuff before, right? Yeah. So we created Supreme Flare Claw, yes. We can create the Gladius Renan. Sword made with Lenegus technology. Cutting edge Renan technology was used while developing it to feel good to hold in anybody's hands. Alright. Shion. We have that one. Done all of those below here, right? Yes. Supreme Igneous Roll. Soul Shot. That looks insane. That one we need a Dark Main, which we don't have yet. Here we did everything, right? Yes. Don't have that one yet. The Cursed Claw and the Chameleon Hide for the Prime Farming Issue 1. Taming Waters, 3rd edition. What do we currently have equipped? Something else, right? So we're going completely different. Well, we create it, but then equip it. And we create that and don't equip it. Then him, we have the Portful. We don't have that. We need a Refined Tenebris Star. We have that. Maybe because I have it equipped. Alright. That seems weird. It's not available when I have it equipped.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Weird. Really weird. Okay, craft and equip that. Craft and equip that. Craft and equip that one. Don't have the Dark Main for that one, but we have that one. The Caduceus Renner. The Law. He only has that one new, right? Oh, Supreme Flaming Knights. Can create that. She has that one not created yet, so it's created, not equip it. Bomb Fence requires... Oh, I don't have a Gargantuan bone anymore, that's unfortunate. Pink Perotica, okay. We need more Garganta bones, okay. Alright, that's a start at least. I don't think I have any really materials to sell, right? One little bit, couple beef. Epic meat is quite a lot of money. Only have 72k, I really need money again. Maybe we should grind up like some boss fish or something like that. Oh, happy diamond stuff. One, not equipping. Equipping. Purchase and equip. Purchase and equip. Not equipping. Purchase and equip. My money is gone. My poor money. We did a Mystic Crest yet. Don't see a Mystic Crest. Alright.
Did we really just spend that much money?
Fortunately, yes. Goodness, I never expected to be crazed by Lord Doorlim and his companions. If there's anything I can do for you, oh please, by all means. Got a rest here. Got a new recipe, alright? Which was that? Fancy Parfait? Yeah, it was Fancy Parfait. Sure, why not? Let's do that. It's a new recipe.
Whoa, that came out perfect! Hoodle, no, that's mine!
Never thought I'd see you fighting Hootle over food of all things. Normally you share everything you have with him.
Yeah, but this is a fancy parfait! Every girl dreams of having one of these!
Is it really that big of a deal?
Please don't bring me into this.
It's always nice to eat something that fulfilling.
I can't believe I actually get to have it all for myself. Every little bite makes me so happy.
But isn't that parfait gonna cost you quite a lot more than your regular ice cream choice?
That's all the more reason for me to enjoy it. Everyone knows it takes lots and lots of sweets to stay full of energy.
Everybody, a cream monster has devoured Rinwell.
At times such as these, it would be best to just let her do as she wishes.
Yeah, definitely.
Dohalim's right. If someone's trying to enjoy their favorite food, just leave them to it and don't bother them.
Yep, can't argue with that.
I don't get women.
So good.
Alright, got a skid out of that. Nice. So I'm to serve you, old my lord, truly. I need money. I don't have any money anymore. I only have 15k now. I need so much more money. They look like they want to fight.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well,
so much
I thought we get a fucking thing.
Them not wanting to fight.
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Elda Menencia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Not on my watch.
Damn it!
Here.
Die!
First aid.
Soaring light spear! Dragon form!
Radiant here. Magic is there.
God damn it. Made it 360 here.
Dragon form!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
Excited.
No, can't.
There seems to be some brainwashing going on now.
Be still! I'm not done! No escape! Dragon form!
More where that came from. Let
You
me
picked the wrong fighter!
The enemy wields ours too.
We'll soon see about that.
Rending you apart!
Magic is there.
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Alright, down with them.
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Adam Dock Tag and Lustrous Astral Crystal. Nice. We need more Giga Bones. Or Giganta Bones or whatever. What do we have over here? That's a bigger zoo over there. Not commenting on that one? Okay. Looks like Mantis Zoogle, just a little bit greener. Let's see what we got next. What are we? Some green Zoogles, alright. They look like out of an experiment.
I'm not done! In a bind? Dragon form! On your Sonic thrust!
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
Fucking hell.
Dragon form! Dazzle! This one's all mine! On your
Thanks. Too much to handle.
You're on!
Field.
You picked the wrong fight! No! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Radiant
My
stars
turn!
of light.
I'm not done!
Rain down
I'm not done! Bloody try this! Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Dark Main, nice. We need that one. That's a big Azoogle there. Horse Mantis. How much health does he have? 163k, okay.
You're mine!
Benediction.
I'm not done! Flaming thrust!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Sonic thrust!
Here's the healing arc!
Here I come! I owe you one! Dragon swarm!
Dance on the wind.
Try this! Explosive ring!
Let me help.
Try harder! Take this!
No dawn shall break this night.
Rising Phoenix!
Can you take it?
Take this! Relic Kick! Blow away!
Glacial spear.
Rising Phoenix!
Take this.
Dragon swarm! Explosive ring!
Illuminate the dark!
Flaming thrust! Rising Phoenix!
Oh, go down. Hit me.
The flame inside me yours to be let free!
Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic fission!
Here's a healing
Flaming
arc!
thrust! Rising Phoenix! Here I come!
He has a ton of health.
Ignite! Dragon swarm!
Aqua! Mega Ray! Downfall! More resistance! Let me help! First aid!
I'll face you!
Sonic thrust! Try this!
Hear my call!
Try harder!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Here's evil! Freeze laser!
You're mine! Be still! Here I come!
Okay.
Dragon swarm! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all!
Dragon swarm!
Armor won't save you! Come forth!
Glacial, try harder!
Here's the
The
evil!
flame inside me, yours to be let free!
Maelstrom! Freeze
Pierce
laser!
through! Try this! Blending thrust! Dragon swarm! Thanks!
Celestial hammer!
Lightning thrust!
Now!
There we go.
Doubling in an instant! Impact cross!
I'm not really keen on fighting a million of those
This
guys.
should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Must be accumulated for lore, alright. Let's finish that one. He only has one more to go. Okay. No punch.
Discouraged.
Gonna go over this guy first. Well, he can go off that one.
Negative can't get out of this! Tell me, have you ever considered your purpose in life?
For my lord! Pierce through! Be still! Combat! Rising Phoenix! Flaming thrust! It's always too strong! Split it open!
Alright, Lord, can do it. There you go.
My steel dragon swarm!
Illuminate the dark!
This one's all mine! Not today! Deity! Dragon swarm! Raining flash!
Resonate with the Earth! Stalagmite!
Oh, damn it.
In here!
Take this!
Back into the
Flaming thrust!
Rending you apart!
It's time
Alright,
to
Shion,
finish
take
this.
him out.
Die! Consuming wildfire!
Benediction light.
Dragon swarm!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah!
And the pummeling to me!
Elusive deity!
Flaming thrust! Rising Phoenix!
Healing handle!
Dragon swarm!
Mega ray! Just illuminate the dark!
Sonic thrust!
Holy land! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
And then we had some big guys over there. A force duster.
Discourteous, aren't you?
In a bind? Dragon swarm! I won't show you any mercy!
You got spirit!
Sonic thrust! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Vanish without a trace!
Damn it, Bennett!
Shine! Ignite! Radiant light! Force of regeneration! Be still! Try harder! Now! Thanks! Take this! Dragon form!
Do it!
Pierce through! My turn!
Magic is there!
Dragon form!
Freeze Lancer!
Thanks! Destruction! Lightning thrust! Totally! In an instant! Impact cross!
At least we got something in the map and materials. That's good.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
What do we have here? A shortcake recipe, a spongy cake filled with cream and strawberries. Harsh punishment awaits anyone who dares to steal the strawberries sitting atop it. That's where we need to go there, okay. Let's grab that thing. Pineapple jar.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
God damn it. Let's use an orange shell. Each shell. It's fine. My bonus went away because I had to stop talking.
Let's dispose of the trash. Where are you going?
Dragon form!
Lightning!
Soaring
Here goes!
Explosive ray! Time to cross blade!
Lunar corruption!
Sonic thrust! Dragon form! Coming through! Ha!
I don't know why I didn't get damaged but that's okay.
Scarlet Inferno! Shine! This one's all mine! Rising Phoenix! Here I come! I'm not done! Eat this!
Allow me to
help you.
Sorry to trouble you.
Rending blast! Soaring blast! Dragon form! Everlasting! Can't get out of this!
Will this help?
I'll face you!
Healing astral energy!
I'll grind you into dust! Dance on the wind! You're mine! Reflect the action! Dragon form! Blackened blade! Pierce through! Execution! Destruction! Thanks!
Into the shadows! Gale
Dance on the wind! Here I come!
Dance in the wind!
No escape!
Feel! I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Take this! Heal!
More for
Rising! Try this!
Where that came from!
Infernal torrent!
Magic is there! Power of
Captivity!
Field! I'll be saving this
Can't get
one!
out of this!
Lightning condemns!
Thank you! Here I come! No escape!
Glacial
Dragon form!
Holy land!
Never see what I can do! Force of regeneration! Ignite! Regenerate! Dragon swarm!
Allow me to help you.
Try this! I owe you one!
Here's another raging cascade!
Everlasting dust!
That'll bring you down! Feel!
Rotating
Ready to go! This one!
Soaring blast! Eagle ray! You're mine!
More with that healing rod! Thanks!
Soaring light spear!
By the power of water!
Thanks!
Annihilation! There's a raging
Try this!
cascade!
Seismic rupture!
And down he goes.
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Remember to tell me if you need healing.
I expect you'll be in high demand if that's the case.
What? Oh, SP accumulate for ring well. Alrighty. Alrighty. Items. Beach jar. There we go. So much money that the beach jar doesn't even help much anymore. More seagulls and two of those guys, okay.
Little help!
Take this!
Vanish without a
The
trace!
flame inside me yearns to be let free! Resonate with the earth!
Radiant
Sonic thrust!
Leave the agile
Try
ones
this!
to me.
Lightning!
Rending blast! No escape! Be still! I'm ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Breath of life.
My turn!
Heal my weary companion.
Burning!
I'm not done!
Water! Hear my call!
Pierce through!
Hit!
Battle!
Hear
My
my
turn!
call. More where that came from.
Ready to go!
Dragon Swarm!
Sonic
Thrust!
Be still! I'm not done!
Here's evil!
Soaring Light
Do it!
Spear! Kisara! Commander of Heavens!
Phoenix Cyclone!
How much longer will our healing arts last?
3 crystals and an urban here. Great. Red Sage, which is health. Alright, Alpha, you get the next one. Might as well use up the apple gels, because they're not useful anymore as much. Let's just save here. Kind of wary of you using orange gels, to be honest, because there might be a healing point up ahead. More Sugals. Let's use 1 orange gel.
An opponent like this should be
In a
easy.
bind?
Dragon Swarm!
Reload! Lightning Orb! Power of flame! Botanic without a trace! Lightning
That makes me the
Do
thorn
it!
this time.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. My turn!
Heal my weary
Sonic
companion.
Thrust! Dragon Swarm!
Heal my
Lightning Thrust!
Now! Gemini! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
That was easy enough.
Am I on a roll or what?
Just using up all the apple gels now. Just to top them off. We're not using apple gels anymore.
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Alrighty, those guys are next.
Let's dispose of trash.
No fight!
Not on my watch!
Dragon Swarm! I'm going in! Burn it hell!
Where that came from?
Dragon Swarm!
Heal my weary companion.
Glacial Spear! Here's the
Explosive ring!
Freeze Lancer!
Sonic
Will
Kick!
this world!
Try this!
Here, let me help. Do it! This
There we go,
ends
we got
now.
him.
Consider yourself finished!
Will this
Prepare to be seized.
Raging Cascade! Healing Circle! Orange Shield!
Be still!
Air Thrust!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Freeze
Try
Lancer!
this!
More for the top! I'll heal you all!
Sonic Thrust!
Like extra energy! More with
Sonic, the
the
flame inside me yearns to be laid in an instant! Impact Cross!
The flames
My
will
turn!
roar.
Dragon Swarm! We're not finished! Coming through! Ha!
There he goes. I think. Oh, not quite.
Scarlet
Need a bit
Inferno!
more.
Here goes!
Sonic Thrust!
Lunar Corruption!
You're mine! Lunar Escape!
Whirl!
You're finished!
Do
We
it!
did it! My turn!
Rending
Try this! Infernal Sonic! You're mine! Lunar Escape! Dragon
Pull
Swarm!
myself together.
Pierce through! Be still! Lunar Escape!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Not a chance!
Photon Flash!
down on the ground.
Dragon Swarm!
Raging Cascade!
Pierce
Now!
through! Kisara! Commander of Heavens!
Phoenix Cyclone! With this, I can become even stronger.
With him. 21 grand, that's good, that's important. There's a teleporter guy. Okay. Let's transfer where we want to go. Alright. What's next?
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was sovereigns only.
Alphen.
So the solo mission now? Who knows? Something happened.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
It's a lot of astral energy.
What the?
That's his history.
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden.
This microphone
How have you
quality
been
is
feeling?
bad.
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to
That
lab.
sound re- that
always
sound really
treated like
weird.
an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself.
Do you hear that? It seems really
But they-
weird. It's like
They
remote
said Rena's
voice work.
prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you.
They both don't sound really
Meanwhile, I
great.
was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
Did everyone see this now?
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Healy point. Healy point means not good for us. Because that means a big fight is out of this. Alright, let's save here. And go for the big fight. Possibly a big fight, who knows? Usually there's a big fight. Looks like a fighting area. Looks a bit like his past memory. Who's that? Saria? She's controlled.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
Ren is Alma? It's a weird armor dude with 6 arms.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
Tormented limbs.
What? Never known Faria to control Zugos like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master core?
What the? Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zugos, then we get some answers.
By the power of— Go for the weak point!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Isara!
Let me do that.
Sleep now!
Dragon Swarm!
More for the stockpile!
No dawn shall
Try
break
this.
benediction light.
Here I go! Go!
Explosive ring!
Heal!
I owe you one.
Annihilation! In here! Power of flame! All disasters
Down on the
made
ground.
one!
Oh, he hit me.
Onyx spear!
That's not my plan.
I owe you one.
The flames will roar!
Burn up!
Burning sun! Raging cascade! In here! Reload!
Dragon
Let me more
Swarm!
for the stockpile!
Be still!
Lightning all to the fray! More where that came from! Eruption! I'm all stuffed up!
Bloody
Take this!
Aki
No
and
escape! It's wide open!
It
All
won't
right.
escape me.
Healing circle!
Explosive ring!
Thunder field!
Down myself
I'm
together.
carved through armor.
Mega ray!
No dawn shall
Try
break
this.
this
Big
night.
waterfall!
Blending blast!
Sleep now! I'll be staying!
Penumbra.
Healing circle!
Dating pile driver.
Rising Phoenix!
Sorry to trouble you.
They do the same for
I'm not
me.
done!
That helps.
Radiant here!
Tempest
More for
engulfs
the
you.
stockpile!
On your knees.
Will this help?
Be still!
Air pressure.
This one's all mine! You picked the wrong
Healing
fight!
circle! In here!
Sonic thrust!
Lightning!
Leave the chargers to me!
I owe you one!
Seismic rupture.
Dragon Swarm!
Captivity.
Here's a healing arc!
Ready and
Lightning
ready.
raging cascade!
What's he doing now?
Deity.
Spread!
Dragon Swarm!
Now you see what I can do.
Here's evil! Blah, blah,
still.
blah, magic!
Heal.
Rising Phoenix!
Now!
Alright.
Astral
Face one
energy!
down.
Say no more!
benediction light.
Dragon Swarm!
Don't suffer in silence.
Explosive ring!
Holy shit, that was a lot of damage I did just there.
It's about to strike!
Take this!
Look sharp, everyone!
What's he doing?
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil! Sleep now! Breathe, Lancer! I'll be safe!
Heal my weary.
The flame inside me
Radiant
yearns to
light.
be let free!
Of regeneration. Regenerate.
Flare tornado!
Don't suffer. This is some punishment.
Stay away from my friend!
Raging cascade! In here!
Take this! No escape!
Dance in the wind! I'll heal you all!
No rest for the wicked.
I'll be safe! Healing touch!
I owe you one. You picked the wrong
Out of
fight!
it.
It's weakened! Wind astral energy!
This ends now!
I'm almost impressed!
Hot rain is coming from you.
Oh god damn it.
Don't get carried away!
He recovered too fast.
Resuscitation.
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glimmer! Holy land!
Need to pull myself together.
Rising Phoenix!
Seismic rush.
Air thrust!
Tempest and
Light
with you.
up! Here's a healing art! First aid! Thanks so much!
Everlasting
Water! Hear my call! Spread!
They smite with black.
Raging strike! Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Freeze lancer!
You're mine!
Shining supernova!
Bloody howling.
Here I come! Sonic thrust!
No more playing night! Lunar
Dragon
corruption!
Swarm!
By the power
Sonic
of water!
thrust!
Tempest
Pierce
swirl!
through!
Annihilation!
Dragon
Celestial
Swarm!
here! Look! That'll bring you down! Razor cyclone!
No further.
Puddle! Lunar corruption! Blah blah blah! Net! Sleep
Shine,
now! By the
radiant
power! It's time to finish
Alright,
this!
Xion, go all out.
Die! Consuming wildfire!
Breath. Heal my weary companion. Forgive me. This is my fault. From beyond.
I was a little bit cocky there.
I've used too much. Another incantation ruined.
Not done yet!
Negative gate.
Do it! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Hello, Brown. The combo system comment where you basically can decide which kind of arts you want to use.
Now it's just her.
But it's not in a specific
Faria,
order to
Can
combo.
you hear me? Faria.
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Alrighty, let's see where this is going.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Xion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well.
Gone with it, Spin,
I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team,
Faria
right?
departed.
Let's move on.
Also, Alphen got his Incineration Wave, and Law got the Inferno Punch.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
Alrighty. Do we have another healing point somewhere? From multiple ways to go. Oh, no, that's where we came from, okay. So this is where we came from. Is the healing point back? Doesn't look that way. I just hope I get a healing point soon again. Or resting place, one of those two. Oh, another cutscene. One cutscene after another lately. Not that I complain.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The same?
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Do we get another wish? I guess we do. What? Oh, that's the ceremony.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
Did she have the same vision of oblivion? She did. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty, interesting. Did time stop?
Alfred!
What's going on? Weird.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally,
visions.
We begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Alrighty, let's continue onwards. Another cutscene. I'm not walking, she does it on her own.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
Okay.
I just need a little time first. I want to make sure
Everything's prepared. So let me save here real quick. Do we have a quick travel place here? No, we don't. Let's just go in. Let's just go in. I don't want to go all the way back.
soon. I have to be ready to fix. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
But there wasn't a side quest popping up, right? No. Alright, let's go in. Hopefully I get a healing point before we continue there. That's the main. Okay, what happens if we go forward there?
Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it
I
out.
think I'm in a linear fashion right now. It's a bit like Final Fantasy 15 where you just get forced to do certain things in the story.
This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, I wonder when the next one will come out.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How did they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Yeah, I can remember being around. No, we weren't going anywhere, right? What's that? An operating table. Many subjects undoubtedly never came back alive from the operations on this. We didn't go here, we went one room further in the division. Can we go up here? Can. Oh, the music is nice in the background. Very epic. It's showing this room's equipment. It hasn't been used in a long time. It's showing Lennigus structures. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. A notice, this area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Its equipment for storing human bodies, whether it held living or dead ones, they're all empty now. So plans to live up the place, okay. Anything else to look at? Plants on the other side too, yeah. Nothing about the plants. Alright, I guess we check out the stall. That's a nice screen setup there.
I think I can make this work.
It's a bit like Japanese.
Well,
not
can
quite.
you make head or tail of it?
Some Japanese characters, some is just
These are
gibberish.
experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Interesting.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA.
Is that Lord Voron?
Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Oh.
Volron? But that means...
See Danan as well.
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
He wield Astral Arts, can't he?
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told.
Maybe Rena is just
according to these records,
not existent.
There have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
Some really odd questions still open.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the sovereign, then who was it?
The Red Woman?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where
Toying
Alphen
with
became the
lies.
Sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Toying with lies.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Right, let's look here. Select a topic to explore. Master cores. Okay. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores, those of earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Rena's armor is ready to be reformed, with existence kept top secret. Underneath a Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. For the duration of their tenure, each Lord competes in a crown contest to amass their allotted time of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each Lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Renner's armor materializes. Be advised that active Master Cores may resonate with other Master Cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to successful regeneration of the Renner's armor, Master Cores will cease to be deployed and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Alright, Spirit Cores. Spirit Cores are end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connection throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Danans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the Crown Contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that Spirit Cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit Cores can also be embedded in souls to control them via astral arts. Addendum. Increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Alright. Lords. There's something about Lords, okay. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority as well as one of 5 elemental realms to administer, and its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables, such as age, have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out the Master Core's powers. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. The following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation. Test subject number 10105, given name Borren. Generation not available. Unique adjustment index ethnicity not available. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for the following orders. As such, the risks it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Okay, so everything was known which happened on Dana. Check out the next terminal. Only those 4, right? Sedative Mask, okay. That's the one Alpha had at the beginning of the game. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity, and was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum. Due to the loss of redaction facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegis, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Brainwashing report. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. The system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Danans alike to enslavement. The subject number 10105 serves as the realm's current Lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to the style of rule. Once a subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegis who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. Alright. Lenegis. Detachable harvester. Okay. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Rena's Alma within the central core of Lenegis. It is comprised of classified and essential personal residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as the stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address that damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegis serves as the central base of operations for the management and execution of the crown contest on Dana. Warning. Any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegis' conduit from which it separates upon landing in Danan waters. It extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed on each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegis. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegis' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding to the rapidity exhibited by the Sovereign. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. Interesting. The Sovereign. The Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danan subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanisms when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danan subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. The Maiden. The Maiden acts as the sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renan subject serves its functions, providing the sovereign with the supplemental dark astral it lacks in tandem with the Renner's armor. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the sovereign without the maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rapancy. Countermeasures must be considered. In line with plan adjustments, the current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Interesting. Let's head out then, and further in, I guess, right? Also, let's do save after I read all that. We're looking here. And notice this area will be shut down as the project proceeds to the final play phase. Yeah, we know that much. We see lots of numbers. Looks like lots of alignment between subjects and Lenniger's property. Great job. It's equipment for monitoring subjects. It's probably had a failure disposal mechanism as well. Another chest. The life bottle times 3, alright. A room unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like time itself has stopped here. More astral energy, another vision. Alright. He already has mask on here, okay.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lennigus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegus.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegus crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Alright, let's go up here. Fortunately, I don't have that much time anymore. How big is that area? It's not that big. It looks like there's gonna be another fight up ahead. I think we're gonna explore this next time around. Gotta call it here. I thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully see you next time around. We're gonna continue here tomorrow morning at around 9:30 AM again, as usual. And I don't know how much is left of the game. I suppose we'll finish off Lenegus, and then probably if we go to Renna, and then, I don't know, maybe there's post-game, maybe there's more, I don't know. Usually it takes me about 150 to 200 hours for this game, but this game is supposed to be rather short, so I think we might be finished in 120 hours, maybe 100 hours, I don't know. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it for today, and once again, I thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully you have a nice day. Take good care, everyone. Bye-bye.